हाँ
मजा आया यार.
मुबारक हो.
So this is a lesson for all the journalists who want to interview Nitin Mukesh. You better grab his pad for this lavish meal that his men have cooked.
I hope you like him.
Personally supervised by N&M.
Are you happy?
Yeah,
Food's good?
I love it.
And I'm most comfortable when I'm doing an interview while eating food. I tend to get so hungry, and but I mean, so just make sure that you ask me questions which I can just
Have you seen
answer monosyllabically.
Have you seen the film called Chef?
Apparently, they're making a remake out here, I believe.
Oh, is it? Interesting. I mean, how amazing is this, right? So Jon Favreau is the Iron Man director. He's the guy who stars in the film. Gets Robert Downey Jr. and Scarlett Johansson for, to play cameos. And he himself directs that movie and writes it. And from a superhero, he makes a film called Chef. Which I think is the most delicious movie I've ever seen.
See, personally, I've never understood that why why do we categorize ourselves once we've proved ourselves successful in one genre.
Okay.
I personally would never want to do that as a creative man, not just as an actor, but tomorrow, hopefully, if I ever get into direction, which someday I would want to, I'd love to make from a thriller to a romantic film, to a horror, to a murder mystery. There's so many, like a comedy. Oof, I'd love to do, make all these genres.
I was interviewing Ayan Mukherjee last week, and I asked him a question that besides actors being typecast in our film fraternity, I think I'm seeing a lot of directors being typecast too.
I'm so glad that you asked that question.
Because that's what, a Scorsese has been making bloodbath movies all his life, and then he directs a Hugo.
Can I tell you something? Personally, I feel that the word typecast in our industry is becoming a little passé now. It's like we don't have another word to probably describe that the actors. Yeah. No. It's why are you so bothered, or why are you affected about the fact that a man's doing well for himself in a particular genre? It's okay, no big deal. But that does not mean he's limiting himself. For example, if I personally think he's one of the finest actors we have in the industry, Mr. Paresh Rawal, okay, Mr. Amrish Puri. They've done some brilliant films in their career.
Yeah.
Okay, Amrish ji to was coming from such a hardcore negative villain.
Yeah.
Can you believe that he's the same Babuji in Dilwale Dulhaniya Le Jayenge?
Yeah.
What if you had typecast him then? So it's right now that we've started discussing typecast.
Right. But back then, people used to
appreciate a man's involvement creatively in a film and respect him for that. Right now, I think it's just become कि एक किसी ने शायद बोल दिया. Hey, I like the word typecast, dude. It sounds so cool. We're going to use this with this actor, dude. Sir, तो आप इतने films कर रहे हैं और आपको नहीं लगता आप टाइपकास्ट? उन्हें अगर हम बोले कि टाइपकास्ट को टाइप करके दिखाएं ना, तो शायद नहीं मालूम होगा कि वो उसका स्पेलिंग क्या है. तो I personally not being defensive about the word, because I personally don't think that any of my films are repetitive, so you cannot really typecast me.
Right.
Yes, the impactful ones that the audience relates me with have been very dark and very grey. Now in that case, well, I love doing grey characters.
Yeah.
And if I'm good at my job and I'm carving a niche for myself, I want to be typecast in that then. So it's quite debatable a topic of being typecast, but that's okay.
I was just wondering, when I was watching David, I saw it twice by the way. I love how the entire film comes together in the end.
Superb it is. Bijoy Nambiar.
I was just seeing, what if this film was actually a complete black and white movie?
It wouldn't have really worked if all three genres were black and white. David stands out because it just gives you that little breather when the black and white portion comes. That's the novelty of the film, na?
Right. So and then of course Vijay is doing Wazir.
Wazir, yeah, man. I'm looking forward to that one.
Yeah, that.
For me, Wazir is Mr. Grey in steroids. I haven't done a film or a character on screen which is darker than Wazir. Wazir is my darkest portrayal up till now. And he's scary. See, the whole thing is that I'm supposed to go on screen and intimidate Mr. Bachchan.
God bless you, man.
How does one do that? How does one do that? When you have butterflies in your stomach because he's right there in front of you.
What was the reaction when you faced him?
So I pretended that I'm perfectly okay. But I promise you, I had not just one, but I had an entire farm of butterflies fluttering around in my stomach. I was so nervous. But I think that's the one good thing about me as an actor. I make my own little bit of a orbit and say, okay, this is my space. And then when I step into that space, then I don't really get intimidated by actors who are in front of me, because then I'm supposed to become the character.
Right.
And then for me, the actor in front of me is a character who I'm supposed to relate to.
Okay.
For example, Johnny Gaddar. Oh, Dharamji, yeah.
Okay, you faced Jay and Veeru both.
Jay and Veeru and both the kids. Yeah. Abhishek and Bobby. So I've worked with the second generation as well. For me, that was also scary when I was with Dharamji and when I was shooting for Johnny. Remember this sequence where we all sitting on a table and I put my hand and he comes and he holds my hand.
Yeah.
I just forgot all my lines.
You did?
He wasn't supposed to do that. I forgot all my lines. And I just looked at him. There was a big pause. And I said my line. So Sriram called it a cut because it's a round trolley shot. And he said, what happened? I said, Sriram, he wasn't supposed to put his hand on my hand. I just became nervous. I don't know what to do. He's saying, okay, we'll do one more. So Dharamji heard that. And he said, just come here. So I got scared. I said, is he going to get upset? And he just hugged me. Hugged me tight and kissed me on my cheek. And patted my cheek and said, have we broken the ice now? Are you scared? So I said, no, Dharamji. Then he said that you're like my grandchild and you know your grandfather and I have been very close, and he spoke to me for 5-10 minutes. Instantly got me into my comfort space. Yeah. Went and I shot. Now after all these years, I'm facing the camera with somebody I have grown up idolizing, right. Mr. Bachchan. Trust me, he is the most powerful performer I have worked with, because his energy levels can drain yours out completely. And he puts in so much for a sequence. Like the sequence that I've done with him in the film is not easy. It's not at all easy. It's in fact, in my career, I would say it's... See, I've never evaluated my characters or my films or my roles. कि कितने सीन हैं, नहीं, भले एक सीन है, मगर वो एक सीन अगर इम्पैक्टफुल है तो वो आपके करियर में एक स्टार आपको दे के जाएगा. सात खून माफ was not that lengthy a role, but it was an impactful role. Similarly for me, Wazir, I don't evaluate Wazir with एक सीन है, 10 सीन है, 50 सीन है. अगर आपके कैरेक्टर को फिल्म से हटा दिया और फिल्म की कहानी पे असर पड़ता है तो वो सीन एक भी अगर है तो वो सीन ज़रूर करना चाहिए. एंड दैट्स एग्जैक्टली व्हाट आई हैव डन. कि जब कहानी सुनी मैंने कहा अच्छा ये तो बहुत इम्पोर्टेंट है, इस पॉइंट पे तो अगर मैं नहीं करता तो बेवकूफ़ तो मैं हूँ. सेकेंड चीज़, which actor in his right senses would lose the opportunity of working with Mr. Bachchan on screen?
You give a right arm and left arm.
My friend, my career would be incomplete
Yeah.
if I had not been a part of Wazir.
Should we? Yeah.
I mean,
Did
yeah.
what were his words when you faced him? Or before?
See, luckily for me, I know Amit uncle for like a long time, since the time I'm born, because my father was an assistant director on Rishida's films.
Oh, lovely.
So yeah, he was his associate. So my father and Amit uncle go back from back then. Then obviously, families being so close, I know him for many years. Abhishek and I consider Abhishek like an elder brother. He's a great guy, and I happen to meet the family very often. We work together also. So I wasn't intimidated about him in the sense that I'm meeting him for the first time. I've met him, I know him, I love him. But yes, I know that an actor of his caliber would not be bothered about Neil, the kid from our home that we know, when he's on set, because I wouldn't do that either.
Right.
So if I, being such a junior, wouldn't do that, then a man of his experience and his potential would not do that either. So I was prepared for that. And as luck would have it, because I was prepared, I faced it correctly. He acknowledged my presence. He gave me blessings. But when the camera rolled, from then to the scene or to the day the shoot got over, Mr. Bachchan was his character and expected me to be mine, and which luckily I was. And that's some respect that you have to give to an actor also. You can't take the advantage of knowing an actor and say, hey, I personally I would be affected. Like if my younger brother is an assistant director, if he's working on a film on the same film as me, then I'd not expect him to treat me like a brother.
Yeah, it would be more professional.
Yeah. Very. So I think, having said that, when you have to go on screen to intimidate him, or the character, the reason why I did Wazir and I had the approach of doing that is, first of all, I've done this in my career till now, and I think I'll always have this pattern, is never try too hard to ape or to break someone's aura or personality that has been existing. See, irrespective of the fact that Mr. Bachchan's playing a character in the film, he is Mr. Bachchan. So there's a lot of that along with it. If I try and break that, or if I try and fight that, I will fall flat. So as opposed to that, what I would like to do, and what I did was, I was me. And I approached the character the way I would approach him in general. And not that I am facing Mr. Bachchan. What happens is then you get a little bit of a freshness. You become a little more unpredictable. And you become a little more twisted. And then you open up your wings and fly high. Simple.
You'll have to have a couple of bites, then we talk. One last question, then we end this segment.
And continue eating.
And continue. What have been your interactions with, when you said, creative medium that you come from? Even a producer is creative. But when the producer of Wazir happens to be also a director, called Mr. Vidhu Chopra, how would your interactions with him take place? And also for the fact that he's given not only blockbuster cinema to our fraternity, he's given something that's beyond that.
I'm in awe of that man. He's so multifaceted. And I think he'll give any of the youngsters a complex because of his A, knowledge, B, his understanding of cinema and moving ahead with time, and C, his passion. we all got to learn a lot from him. I think Vidhu sir, the day I got a call from Bijoy Ganpati last year,
Okay.
he said that Vidhu sir wants to meet you, and I was like, OMG. I said, this is like a dream come true.
Okay.
I ran to the office and he said, Neela, I saw David and I loved you in David. I said, thank you, sir. And he said, there's this film that we are working on, and we just thought that you'll probably fit the antagonist beautifully. I said, wow. And he said, can you hear it out? So I said, yes. So he took me to his cabin. I sat with him. He narrated me a couple of things of Wazir and told me the gist of the character. And I was sitting there and I was going through the lines, and he said, can you think of the character in this space? So I said, yes, sir. And he got up and he started walking around and doing like a he started probably being the character that he was expecting me to be. So I just sat and I was observing him, and he said, Ki, there's one point, if you can just like show me some kind of madness. I said, so I just kept listening, and he said, and he came hopping in front of me. And I said, done, sir. Now, when you see the film, there's one section which I've just aped him. So sometimes what happens is you come across people who leave a very lasting impression on your mind, because they know what they have visualized for a certain section. And I, as an actor, would never want my director to feel that what he has visualized, I cannot deliver. Sometimes you have to take your creativity on a back step and get theirs in front, on forefront, and push it from your end so that they get the delivery of a character that they've visualized about. I think that understanding needs to be with every actor, because we all want to make every character our own.
I'm sure.
But when the producer, the director have written the film and visualized it, and especially why I wanted to incorporate that is because he's also the writer of the film. So he's visualized this character in a certain way. And as luck would have it, I had one of my dearest friends in the industry, Vijay Nambia, is the director of the film.
Yeah, it's killing me.
So when I'm on a set with Bijoy, it's like, it's madness. Like Bijoy and I can go and do the darkest of cinema, but behind the cameras, and if you see any of the behind footage, you will see the madness that we are just having such a blast on a set. So there's never a serious moment of Bijoy and me, but our films and the seriousness in the depiction of our characters is very dark and very grim. So I love Bijoy. I think he's one of the finest technicians we have in the country, and he's definitely the future. His vision is par excellence. Yeah.